The sun rose over Lagos, its golden ray lighting up two vastly different worlds. In Ikoyi, Amara woke up on silk sheets in a massive bedroom adorned with glittering chandeliers and toys she had only dreamed of. The event of the previous night felt surreal. Chief Adewale's wife, Madam Bisi, had kissed her forehead goodnight, calling her my precious Tinu. Amara, frozen with fear and confusion, hadn't corrected her. In Ajegunle, Tinu stared on a worn mattress in a small, clustered room. The smell of akara frying in the distance wafted through the air. She stared at the cracked ceiling, her mind racing. How had she ended up here? The family that called her Amara seemed kind, but they are modest. Surroundings were a far cry from our luxurious world. Adjusting to new words at the Adewale mansion, Amara cautiously explored the grand house. Madam Bisi fused over her, asking her why she seemed so quiet. Tinu, are you feeling alright? She asked, stroking Amara braided hair. Amara nodded nervously, overwhelmed by the attention and luxury. The chef prepared a lavish breakfast, but Amara hesitated to eat, unused to such opulence. Meanwhile, Tinu, defiant and impatient, refused the breakfast Mrs. Eze offered. "This is ridiculous," she muttered under her breath. She demanded to be taken home, but her pleas were dismissed as childish tantrums. "Amara, stop being dramatic and eat your food," Mrs. Eze said firmly, unaware of the mix-up. Clues began to emerge as the day progressed. Cracks in the facade began to show. At the Adewale mansion, Amara struggled to adapt to Tinu's privileged life. When Madam Bisi asked her to pick out an outfit for a photo shoot, Amara was clueless about the designer clothes lining the closet. Her simple choices puzzled Madam Bisi, but were dismissed as a phase. In Ajegunle, Tinu's sophisticated mannerism and sharp tongue confused Mrs. Eze and her neighbors. When she demanded bottled water instead of the sachet water offered, everyone laughed, assuming she was pretending to be fancy. However, Mrs. Eze noticed something unusual. This Amara seemed unusually confident and outspoken for a girl from their background. By evening, the difference between the girls' life became glaring. Amara stumbled through Tinu's scheduled piano lessons, earning the instructor's disapproval. Meanwhile, Tinu accidentally offended one of Mrs. Eze's friends by commenting on the state of her clothes. Both girls felt trapped in lives that weren't theirs, but fear of rejection kept them silent. Amara worried that speaking up will result in punishment or disbelief. Tinu, on the other hand, resented her new reality but didn't know how to find her way back home. That night, Chief Adewale received a call from an old friend who had attended the party. "Your Tinu has really grown," the friend said, "but I noticed she's much quieter than usual. Everything okay?" Chief Adewale chuckled nervously, but doubt crept into his mind. In Ajegunle, Mrs. Eze's cousin visited after work and noticed Tinu's polished English and expensive-looking wristwatch. "Amara, where did you get this?" he asked, holding the watch. Tinu stammered, realizing she had forgotten to remove it the previous night. The cousin's suspicion grew, though he kept it to himself for now. As fate would have it, both families were planning separate outings the next day. The Adewales planned to take Tinu to a high-end mall, while Mrs. Eze decided to visit her cousin in Ikoyi. At the mall, Amara marveled at the luxury, trying her best to blend in. But when she spotted a small girl in the crowd wearing a dress identical to one she had seen in Tinu's closet, she froze. The girl looked exactly like her. At the same time, Tinu, arriving with Mrs. Eze in a battered Danfo bus, stepped into the same mall. Her eyes widened as she saw the grandiosity of the place, and then she spotted Amara in her dress. The two girls locked eyes, realization dawning on them simultaneously. In a private room of the Adewale's mansion, the families confronted the truth. The girls shared their experiences, tears streaming down their faces as they confessed their fears. "I don't know what to do," Amara said softly. "You were so kind, but I was scared." Tinu nodded. "I thought no one would believe me. I didn't want to be sent away." As the pieces of the puzzle came together, the adults exchanged glances. Mrs. Eze frowned, staring at Chief Adewale. "Your face, it's familiar," she said, her voice trembling. Chief Adewale leaned forward. "Bisi, doesn't she remind you of someone?" Madam Bisi gasped. "Yes, your cousin, the one who moved away years ago." "What was her name?" "Ngozi." Tears welled in Mrs. Eze's eyes. "Ngozi was my mother. She spoke of her cousin, Adewale, who went to Lagos for work but never returned to the village. Could it be?" Chief Adewale's voice broke. "Ngozi was like a sister to me. I lost contact after she moved. I searched, but I never found her." The room fell silent. As the weight of the revelation sank in, Amara and Tinu, connected by chance, had brought their families together. The family embraced their tears, a mixture of grief and joy. "All these years," Mrs. Eze whispered, "we were closer than we knew." Chief Adewale placed a hand on Amara's shoulder. "You brought us back together. Both of you did." Tinu, always confident, looked uncharacteristically shy. "Does this mean we're family?" "Not just family," Madam Bisi said, pulling both girls into a hug. "You are a miracle." As they shared a meal that evening, the families reflected on the event that had unfolded. Chief Adewale spoke, his voice steady but emotional. "Life teaches us that love and understanding transcend wealth or status. It's our bond that truly matters." Mrs. Eze added, "We must never let differences blind us to what unites us." This mixed up reminded us of the importance of family. The girls, now back in their rightful places, shared a look of gratitude. Amara smiled. "We will always have a part of each other, and we will always be connected," Tino replied. As the sun set over Lagos, it marked not just the end of a misunderstanding, but the beginning of a reunited family's journey.
Thank you for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed this tale and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Let's keep the spirit of storytelling alive together. Until next time, keep the stories close to your heart.